Hi, this is 1453 here, and this is going to be an overview guide to show you how to Confederate Yan Baihu in turn 1 as Zheng Jiang on the 194 start. The reason we want to do this is, alongside he's a great character, gives us the opportunity to unify a lot of the other Bandit factions and start anywhere we want on the map as well. So it gives us a really sort of refreshed campaign. So if you want to really limit the amount of characters you can have after you get these two or these three, if you want to get Yan Baihu's brother as well, who's over here, you'll be able to do that. So it's a really sort of, I think, a refreshing start you can make for yourself. It takes a bit of time to set up, but this guide's going to be able to show you through how to do it all, and then you'll be able to play the game. So jumping into the start here, we start in this region of Han China, and our opening dilemma is facing Zheng Ba. And the good thing about Zheng Ba is actually he's one of the Bandit factions, so what we're going to be doing at the start is jumping in straight into battle with him, and then taking his territory, and then I'll set up and show you how we're going to go about doing the actual strategy from that point on. With this battle, I'm not going to show it in this video, but with this battle, effectively you want to reduce as many casualties as you can. You want to basically use your generals to do as much damage as possible to the garrison alongside this army here. And by doing that, it will reduce the amount of damage that's taken to your army, and therefore increasing the diplomatic value of your deals, which we want to be able to continue to have. So I'm going to jump straight into the battle, win these battles, hopefully wipe out the garrison and the full army so we don't have to fight two battles, but we'll see you at the end. And as you can see at the screen here, we got heaps of kills on Zheng Jiang, and even our strategist got a bunch of kills as well. We wiped out most of their army, so we'll just have to follow this up with one more battle at the... it's an iron mine to finish the contest with Zheng Ba.
Paid for ignoring us.
We get quite a lot of money. So we did take 51 losses, which is not ideal. We want to minimize losses as much as possible. Oh, hello. He's got really interesting stats. I mean, you don't really see characters like this that are sort of pacifists, kind-hearted, ascetic. I'm going to employ him. Interesting. And we're going to get replenishment because, again, we want to maximize as many troops as we have, alongside having our generals with as much health as possible, because this adds value to diplomatic dealing. It's like your diplomatic strength. Oh, right, this is the special place, isn't it? Yeah.
Remain supple.
So we're going to go straight into this battle, and I'm not going to show you it again. We'll just tell against. Get out of the way. Yeah,
my legend grows. We worked hard to take it. We should enjoy it.
It's actually interesting with auto resolve. Sometimes you get friendships and oath swans a lot easier, which I find a little strange. But anyway. Tenacity of steel is always good. That's pretty much all we need to do militarily wise. The rest of the map is going to be diplomatic. So I'll go through the basic premise of what we're going to be doing. So if you've seen my tips, tricks and exploits guides, which you can find on my channel, you'll know that what you can do always is on the first turn offer 10% of your total wealth as trade per turn. So even if you have 0 income per turn from 0 income per turn, you can always offer 10% of your total max cash per turn as well. So this allows you to pretty much make any deal you want on the first turn with factions that you can break the deals with before that. So this includes vassals and factions that are going to be destroyed on the first turn as well. So who's going to be destroyed on the first turn by us is very few people, but what we can do, because we're Zheng Jiang and we're a woman, is we can marry other factions. And if you look here, our ability to marry thus far is going to be pretty limited. So Zheng Ba is the first person we can marry. As you can see here, he's a Bandit faction. Now if we join our faction through marriage, it's a negative 91. So it's pretty unlikely that we're going to be able to get this deal from him at this stage, because as you can see here, our relations with him is extremely low. We've of course been at war with him, we still are at war with him, and we've committed atrocities, including taking his generals and those sorts of things. So what we need to do first is develop our relation with as many factions as we can that we can declare war on the vassal master of, so we can take all their cash and items and use them in diplomatic trade deals. So the Han Empire, Yongfang, Zongfang, Zheng, and there's a few other factions on the map as well. But as you can see here with this gentleman,
insurmountable problems fade before
maybe it's not him, maybe it's this guy.
Let wisdom shine.
Yeah, this guy here, he's also a Bandit faction, so 68 points is not that far off, so we'll be able to marry him as well. I don't think we'll be able to marry Zheng Jiang. He's the only band that kind of gets away, but we could probably do that on the second turn. We'll see what happens at the end of this all. But our goal is to be able to find Yan Baihu and marry him as well. But as you can see, we're not visible on his diplomatic map, and he's not visible on ours as of yet. But through forming coalitions and exposing ourselves to other factions, that we can do on the first turn as well, alongside unifying other factions as well, we'll be able to locate him and eventually marry him at the end of this guide. It's going to take a while, so this is going to be mostly a time lapse, but I'm going to get started now and come back through and talk about it all the way through. But mostly you just be able to see me blitz through and do as much as possible. So see you at the end. I decided actually not to time lapse it. It takes way too long to show the whole time lapse, so we're just going to cut to the other side. Okay, so we have bought all Zhang Bai's territory. We've boosted our relation with him as much as possible. And so we're now at the process of finding out how we're going to marry him and include him into our faction. So as you can see here, it's still 8.7 away from being able to do it. So we can always offer to issue an ultimatum. And there's no real guarantee when it comes to ultimatums if this is going to work or not. This would work. I think it's usually if you're in a 10-point range, you'll be able to issue an ultimatum, and the vassal, well not the vassal, the faction will agree to it, but you'll get negative treachery, so we don't want to do that. We'll have to use ultimatums a little bit later on. But a cool little tip here, is we can offer mercenary assistance to Zhang Bai. And that has trade value. Now you can't use this normally, so for example you can't offer to marry Zhang Bai and then offer him mercenary
Well met.
A mercenary treatment as well. So as you can see here, that's not available. But if you do it the other way around and you offer the treatment,
freely,
offer the mercenary contract at the start and then offer to marry him, we'll be able to marry Zhang Bai and take him into our faction. So we can do that here.
This.
And he becomes confederated. So this is how we get the first person to be involved. Of course, this brings us at war with Liu Bei, and we can't get around this. This is the unfortunate reality. But of course, we're going to be buying up all the territory of all the Bandit factions regardless anyway, so we'll have plenty of places we can start on the map. Our goal will be, of course, to start where Yan Baihu is down here, because these are sort of access to some of the other better commanderies down here, so like Puyang and I think it's Danyang. There it is. Whatever the pronunciation is, but we'll be able to have plenty of options of where we want to start. So being at war with Liu Bei at the start is no real detriment. But what we can do next is we want to be able to boost the relations of all the factions around us as much as possible. And how we can do this further is by boosting all the troops we have in the army. So we're going to just be recruiting the cheapest troops we can, just to have more sort of diplomatic weight when it comes to our forces. Get this guy out here as well. So this all boosts just that little bit extra, because the little bit does matter. It's costing us a lot of money, but that's fine, because our next tricky person to deal with is going to be Yuan Shao, or Shao, or however it's pronounced. As we can see, because we confederated Zhang Bai, we've got access to a bunch more factions. So he's going to be our next person to deal with. His vassals. When this part's a little bit tricky, so Yuan Shao has the most cash starting in the game. As you can see here, he starts out with 8,000. I think Cao Cao starts with around 5,000 or 6,000 as well. Actually, let's just quickly check that. But they, as stronger factions, yes, so Cao Cao starts with 6,000. So as the stronger factions in the game, they have access to a lot of cash and items. So Yuan Shao is who we're going to be dealing next with, and he's tricky because we want to deal with him and only one of his vassals. So Yuan Tao, his son,
Sit.
hopefully he doesn't have great items. Yeah, he's just got crap. Is one of the stronger people. He's definitely the stronger of Yuan Shao's vassals. So we're going to be dealing with Guan Gan and then Yuan Shao, and we're going to be dealing with them. And our goal is not to relays our relation with Yuan Shao too much, because when we declare war on Yuan Tan, and then Yuan Shao is going to take his side and then break all the deals we have with him, we won't incur any treachery, and that's how we get out of all the deals we make with Yuan Shao. So we're going to be dealing as much as we can with him. So this part takes quite a bit of time, because we're going to be buying our way as much as we can towards... we'll see if we can do it now, actually.
Well met.
That's right. So we've got to get the cash back from Yuan Shao, and then buy up all the territory there, then divorce Zheng Ba, and then marry Yuan Fang. So there's a bunch to do yet, but I'm going to get started. Okie dokie. So we've bought up as much territory as we can from Yuan Shao, Yuan Gan, Yuan Fang, and we're at the point now where we just need to make sure this is going to be... You can probably do this a little bit cleaner, but what we're going to need to do before the end of this turn, before the end of this guide, is we're going to have to break one of the deals with Yuan Shao and get a little bit more treachery to break our relation with him a little bit more. The goal is to keep him yellow-faced, and when he's yellow-faced, he's going to side with Yuan Tan, but when he's green-faced like that, he will probably side with us, so we won't be able to break the deals. We'll see what happens at the end of it, but what we're going to do next is we need to get into a coalition, and coalitions boost the diplomatic value of your faction. So we are going to be making an ultimatum with Yuan Fang, so we need to do it with someone who's got a bit of diplomatic strength. Cao Cao's the best person to do it with, but his 21 points is very expensive. I don't think we're going to be able to afford that. It would be worth doing though if we can make it work. We might be able to give him some territory, actually. That would make it work. Because the territory doesn't have diplomatic value. Now we can't offer territory. How close are we? He's there. Who's this? Luan Yang. That's the old capital. Yeah, it'd be awesome if we could offer him territory. See what we can give him. Because we don't need the items. So all these items that we have here just really icing on the cake, but we don't need to keep any of them. But we'll see if we can offer him 4 silvers, if we've got 4 silvers. No, just 3. Because we don't need to keep any of this sort of stuff. It doesn't really matter if we have it or not. But we'll offer him as much stuff as we can. 1,000 for only 0.3. That's not a lot. We want to avoid cash where we can, but we'll give him some items. How much is 500? Yeah, wow. So cash, raw cash is better for Cao Cao. It's annoying, but that's alright. So forming a coalition with Cao Cao removes a number of issues that we're going to have. Obviously, it's just good for us because it's pretty unlikely he's going to leave the coalition anytime soon. He's the strongest faction alongside Yuan Shao in the game. Oh, he's actually stronger than Yuan Shao. Yeah. So it's Yuan Tan is slightly stronger, and his relative strength combined with him, because they're his vassals, boosts it. But as you can see, it gives us access to a lot more deals. We'll be able to get some cash back through these. Yes, we get a lot of deals, even though we've got, terrible relation with Kong Rong. We can still get pretty good, a little bit of money from him. We'll be able to do sunset as well. And then we can go back to this gentleman over here, Yuan Fang, who we want to marry. We will marry him after we divorce Zheng Ba. So Zheng Ba's had a pretty shocking run. He got destroyed by us in a war, a very quick war. And then he lost one of his territory, then he got married, so it seemed to be going up with him, because to get married to a bandit queen, pretty good run for a mercenary captain. And then he gets divorced again after all his territory was taken away from him, and he was confederated. So big F in the chat for Zheng Ba. It's a bit unfortunate. But so it's 18.5 points, so we'll be able to coerce that and issue the ultimatum. But what I'm going to do now for this next bit is I'm just going to jump around through, get as much cash as I can from the other factions, and then after I've done all that, I'll jump back to you. Well, don't need time lapse that. That's just going to be making deals with people like Kong Wong and everyone else I can get as much cash as I can from, and I'll jump back and show you Zhongfang. Okay, so we've got as much cash as we can from making various deals, and we made deals with Kong Rong, Zhong Hong, Sun Se, Wu Ling, Void Yuan Xiao, and then Hong Zhu, and then we declared war on Liu Biao to break the deals, so we have no deals, so we got everything we can from him. Then just broke the deals, and then we got the Imperial Seal from Sunset, so let's equip that. Always useful. And there's nothing else we can do that's going to benefit us. Yeah, we don't want trade agreements with any of these guys yet. We're going to trade with Chassette down south when we meet him, which is going to be right now. So this is going to... Whoop, not doing that. Don't want war with him. This is going to make a lot of things happen. So we can issue an ultimatum, and because we're quite powerful next to him and all that sort of stuff, he's going to accept it despite being negative 20 points. It's going to get us untrustworthiness, but that's something we just have to deal with. And that exposed us to many other factions on the map as well. And why that happened is because as we confederated him, we also got the trade port. So we got control of this commandery here. So Hodong. So that's the trade port that we have here, and every other faction that has access to trade ports, and then even more so, I mean, there's like Ma Teng as well that we get, we have the ability to see, which is a little bit weird. I don't understand why we can see him, but either way we can. So if you wanted to marry Ma Chao, divorce your current husband, and then you can just marry into Ma Chao as well, divorce Ma Chao and adopt Ma Chao, and then you have Ma Chao in your faction as well, which is a nice little bit of fun here. So this guy here, we can definitely deal with. We can definitely deal with Sowe if we don't want to make the trade agreement with Soche. We can buy all his items as well. Alongside all these factions here, we can buy all the items of as well. So there's a lot of deals and wheeling and dealing that we can still yet to do. But most importantly, alongside all these other factions as well, this has exposed us to Yan Baihu. Where is he? There he is. So all the way down here. So he's the last person we want to be able to unify with. And when we unify Yan Baihu, alongside we have his two great characters that we get added to our court as well. Him, Yan Baihu, is definitely one of the best bandit characters. I'd probably say second to Zheng Jiang. Like Zheng Jiang, because her weapons have fatigue immunity. They're just bloody fantastic. Yan Baihu is probably a little bit better, besides not having fatigue immunity, only because he starts with poison volley. He starts with unique weapons as well, the white tiger fangs or white tiger claws, and then yeah, being a bandit with a really good skill tree, he's access to all that sort of stuff as well. So the three bandit leaders actually are all really good. So Zheng Yan, where's he? Well, he's up here. He's really good. Well, also has fatigue immunity. I believe his armor has fatigue immunity. So Zheng Jiang actually, if you get her weapons, she can be used, or they can be used on any character, so they're not exclusive to her. So that's why Yan Baihu is probably that little bit better. But what we're going to do now is I'm going to make all the deals possible with Yan Baihu, boost our relation with him as much as possible. So we'll see you at that point. Okay, so we've boosted our relation with Yan Baihu as much as possible. We even got a mercenary contract with him, so he's in our war with Liu Biao as well. So now, this guy here, the White Wave Warlord, he's actually got really great stats, and I'd probably recommend keeping him as the second in line in the next turn, because the Bandit faction, you don't need your next in line to be a family member. They can just be a member of your court. So he's actually got really nice stats. So when you get an army going, he's always going to be useful. Character experience alongside retinue upkeep is always great. But now we can...
Together we can surely achieve anything.
So it's only 6 points, so would probably be able to find a way to, if you wanted to, you could always buy all the territory from the Han Empire, find your way of getting down here, and then buying all the territory of the Han Empire and a few other factions as well, to increase your trade value of, but we're not going to bother doing that. So coerce, issue the ultimatum, and we'll unify with Yan Baihu. So we're at the point now where you can pretty much do whatever you like on the map. You can continue making the deals with the faction vassals. So I'm not going to bother pronouncing these names, but Zhong Liu and Shui. People you can definitely make deals with, but the last thing we need to do is just clear up all our remaining deals. So that will be with
Let us discuss.
your vassals.
We will meet you with fire. Excellent.
Your vassals.
You have made a cunning foe.
Yeah, we don't want you to like us, Yuan Shao, but we'll break one deal with Yuan Shao. It's going to give us treachery, but you know, there's nothing we can do.
This bodes ill.
Then we declare war on Yuan Tan.
Movable as stone. Do your worst.
Yuan Shao joins with his deals as well. Who else do we have deals with? Negative. That's right. Just just army upkeep. Cool. So we're at the point now where this is effectively the end of the guide. You can choose whatever you want to do from this point on. So you effectively have Yan Baihu. So we've got a lot of treachery, and just to tell you how to get rid of the treachery, treachery will decrease over time. So because we're in a coalition with Cao Cao, we can declare war on who Cao Cao is at war with and go to war with them as well. Doing this reduces the treachery pretty quickly. If you do a battle, it's like 5 points of respect you gain alongside over time as well. So about turn 15, 20 is when you can have 0 treachery if you do this sort of thing. And then you could always just leave the coalition with Cao Cao, make another coalition with someone you can, buy your way into the coalition with items if need be, declare war on people like the Yellow Turban Rebellion down here. You'll be able to access them because you're pretty much at war with them at the start anyway. Well, you just declare war on them here with Yan Baihu, and then on the next turn, because he should start with 0 movement points. Yeah, so next turn you'll be able to do that as well. So there's plenty of things you can do to reduce your treachery as much as possible pretty quickly. So it's not that hard to do. It's not that scary to look at. So I wouldn't worry all that much about that. Because the good news is you've already made most of the deals that you need to anyway. If we wanted to see, it's only 0.7, so it's not that big of a deal. Because we've got most sort of diplomacy deals, like we've got trade agreement, non-aggression agreements with most people we sort of need to already. We're at war with a bunch of people, but none of them really matter. I mean, it's like Yuan Shao, who's down here. What I would recommend doing though is probably something the girl should have done before I declare war on them, is I'd probably marry Sun Se, so Lady Wu's his mother, to our other family member, which is this gentleman over here. So I'd probably marry her to him, because you've got heaps of great characters in your court now. Why I would do that is because Lady Wu would become a family member, and therefore Sun Ce would become a family member. And what you would do then is you would fight Sun Ce, but not destroy him, so just leave his mob wandering around here. So take the territories he needs to take, fight Yuan Shao, take these territories here, because Sun Ce is going to come over this way and try to take all these territories. Just knock him out, take those territories from him, and then he'll attack the first thing he can attack. He'll get his army destroyed, his faction will therefore be destroyed, and because you won't have made him have a grudge against you, you'll be able to take him into your faction as well. We'll be able to grab Ma Teng as well if we wanted to. I'll show you how we can betray Yan Baihu. I wouldn't do this if I was playing this campaign afterwards, because now we've really annoyed him, so we'd probably not be able to keep him in the faction. But it shows you if we wanted to, we can grab Ma Chao as well. So this is just a really great way if you want to start the game with heaps of good characters. You can do it. So you can have heaps of good characters. You can have Zheng Jiang, you can have Yan Baihu, you can have Ma Chao, you can have Sun Ce not long, alongside the White Wave Warlord Zhang Ba as well. You get one of the best sentinels in the game in this gentleman over here, who's probably best known for being as one of the Han. He's a bit of a nightmare if you fight him in the 190 start, because he's part of the Han Empire, but he's unbreakable. He's got an extremely powerful weapon. Like, there's heaps of great characters you have access to doing this. So really, really fun way to play the game. Alongside your opening starting strategist has really, I think it's her, yeah, so her skill here, Stalker, another really great skill. If you wanted to, you could just take Zheng Jiang's weapons, give them to Yan Yu, and then send her, oh no, that's funny. Huh. I thought he would be able to wield them. Guess not. But yeah, there's many other things you can do that to sort of utilize. Give the so sentinels, because they're dual axe weapons. Give them to sentinels and commanders and those sort of characters. But yeah, you could get her killed if you wanted to, and just pretend you're doing a Yan Baihu playthrough, but as part of a better faction, because Zheng Jiang's faction is better and more interesting than Yan Baihu. His sort of unique mechanics are pretty crap compared to hers. He has slightly better units, but her faction's a lot more interesting because it's access to a big sort of prestige boost as well, alongside getting, as you can see here, once you max out the relations, you get 10 satisfaction, enabled scare, enabled unbreakable, so really powerful faction, and faction mechanics as well. So yeah, that's the end of this guide. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'll just show you that we can do a turn 2, whatever the hell that is, and we go forward from there.
Opportunity is seldom
Oh, that's funny, we're a
presented.
duke. Oh, gonna just delegate. Ooh. Yikes. It's yeah, don't do that. Ooh, wow. This is a bad turn too. General rebels Yan Baihu. Oh, yeah, so a lot of interesting things happened during that period of time. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed. Thanks.